Have you ever thought to yourself, if I don't get like some help, will that mess up my relationships? And the answer is, let's find out. Welcome to the Black Man Black Health Podcast. We're in the car, so the car episodes are called Riding Shoddy with Coach Drew. I got this name from one of my boys, so here we are. Let's talk about it. How does not healing affect you in relationships? I believe, and I've experienced this in myself, before therapy, during therapy, and even now I'm still in therapy, you don't realize how your key relationships will affect all of your other relationships in some way. Now, usually we think that if I had a bad relationship, say with, let's just say for emphasis, like for instance, with my dad, that doesn't mean I'm gonna have a bad relationship with my wife or my significant other. It doesn't mean that the relationship will be bad, but I guarantee you there are gonna be some things that are not connecting as well in that relationship. Why? Because your parents are your primary people who you learn relationships through. So let's dig into this, right? When I got married, I didn't think my relationship with my dad would affect me and my wife at all, or even relationship with my mom wouldn't affect my relationship with my wife. My mom is my hero. My dad and I are on really great terms now, but that wasn't always the case. My mom was always good with me. My dad, we had a lot of things happen between us. How did this affect me with my relationship with my wife? I always saw my dad run away from problems or withdraw and like not come back. So at first, I told myself when I got married that was going to be the main thing I did not do. That's what I told myself. I ended up doing it. I didn't run away. I didn't go away. But emotionally, I would literally just shut down. I didn't know how to show up emotionally consistently when I felt I was hurt. And that's the honest truth. I believe if we were being honest, a lot of people might actually chime in and say the same thing. Well, now, as I got into therapy and I started to recognize some patterns that I had were coming from how I shielded myself, how I guarded myself, how I protected myself, I realized I also put a wall around my heart. And in doing that, if you put a wall around your heart, you're not going to be able to express yourself, open up, or even receive from somebody else. So for anybody who has a bad relationship with their dad and they're alive, if you can get that right, I would say get it right. Now, I'm not just talking about I forgave them, saying something like that. I mean, really get it right, because you don't realize sometimes hyper independence comes from maybe a bad relationship with a parent. If you've been rejected by a parent, you often start looking at the world as everyone's going to reject you, so you don't go out or you don't try, or everyone's going to abandon you, so you don't go out, you don't try. I would say try to get it right. That's through prayer, therapy, and any other way you would like to. Try to get that right. If I knew my relationship with my dad, I started therapy while I was, I believe, 3 years married. If I would have known that block between me and my dad was a big holdup of a lot of breakthrough and a lot of meshing with me and my wife, I would have started sooner. The thing is, you usually don't know what's actually being like the thing that's holding you up. Sometimes God will reveal like, hey, you got to get this out of your heart. You got to get this hate out of your heart, this bitterness out of your heart. And we all just say like, I don't hate him, I just don't mess with him. That's a different day. But sometimes you don't know that there's a block there. I always advise people, if you want to grow in your relationships and you want deeper connections, ask God to show you what are the blockages between me and this person. A lot of times it's not even just the person, it's usually somebody else who may have hurt you, who you may have an ought with, who you may not have forgiven. It might be that person. It's worth doing the work, because doing that type of work will make all of your other relationships better. Right? When you learn that the world is not always trying to hurt you or out to get you, you'll ask for help more. If you realize that, hey, whenever my spouse doesn't fulfill my love language, I don't need to hate them or punish them. Like I know ways to get it done, or I know things to talk about when these things are happening. I believe a lot of relationships get messed up because A, we don't communicate to understand. B, there's a lot of trauma. Right? It's a guy, Ray Ortland, I think that's his name. Ray Ortland said, when you get married, you don't realize that you're marrying somebody who has suffered a lot. And with that, God is entrusting this person to you to help them. That's humongous, because now on social media, for some reason, we just think that people are supposed to just come into our lives, be miracle workers, never hurt us. Let's just stop there. You're going to get hurt in relationships. That's just what it is. You're going to get hurt in relationships. If you can realize that these are real humans and they're not robots, then you'll be okay. And I wish we knew that sooner. As we wrap up, we have a program called the Black Health Program, right? Where we help people actually figure out, like, hey, where am I struggling at physically? Like, am I missing workouts? Am I not working out? Where am I struggling spiritually? Do I have something against God? Am I talking to God consistently? And then mentally, where am I struggling? Or where do I actually just want to level up? Why would all of those three be in one program? We put them all in one program because we want to deal with the whole person. A person can be amazing fitness-wise and be struggling spiritually and mentally. A person can have an amazing relationship, vibrant relationship with God, and be obese. A person can mentally be tapped in, go to therapy, do the work, do the inner work, right? Self-reflection, self-awareness, and not have any relationship with God. We combine all those three in the 6-week program, and we walk with you. We help you understand what's happening, where do you want to level up, or where do you want accountability at, right? I've seen for years people usually fail because they have no support system and they have no one to actually be accountable to. DrewCost.com, or if you're looking at this on Instagram, hit me up, Coach Drew Cost. Back to the rest of the episode. As we wrap up and land the plane, I want to encourage you. If you have broken relationships with people who are close to you, and you have the ability to have real reconciliation, go do it. Life's so short. Life is so fragile, and we don't realize how. Sorry, I'm battling a cold. We don't realize how this can actually benefit the next relationship I have that might not even be the same type. I can have a bad parental relationship, and if I get this right, it may actually help me with my husband. It may help me with the people who matter the most, the kids, right? My main reason for going into therapy was because I didn't want to pass on my bad habits, and I didn't know at first my trauma on to my youngest, Aaliyah. She's 5 now. When I got into therapy, it was totally helping me. And by me being helped, by me being whole, I was able to help her. I was able to help my wife. Now, is that to say like all the trauma is gone? No, I'm still working on things. I'm still going through things. I'm still fighting things. There are still struggles. But it's not like how it was when I first started. I've realized that growth takes time. Healing takes time. But as you're on the journey of healing and growing, you are in this place of understanding that I'm not a messed up person. My therapist, I had a session, and I was talking with her, and we were laughing. I was like, man, when I came to you, like, I mean, I have it all together now, but I was completely messed up. And she stopped me and said, you were never a mess. You were never a mess. You were fighting through things and internalizing things and processing things, but you weren't a mess. So for anybody out there, You're not doing this because you're a mess. You're doing this because you want to align. You want to figure out what's holding me back. What's holding my relationships back from really feeling like they should feel and they could feel. So go get the help you need. DrewCost.com if you want to join in on our program. We would love to have you. Other than that, guys, be good, be great. I'm out of here.